Hi everyone, it's a pleasure for me to welcome Mastermattchu. Hello Mastermattchu, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm fine. First of all, congratulations for your top 5 at the X Invitational.
Thank you.
I got some questions from the French community. They were very happy to ask questions to you. Let's start with the X Invitational. What was the atmosphere of the tournament? Did you enjoy your journey?
The atmosphere was pretty great. The Hex people treated us very well and made sure that we were very well taken care of. And the tournament was great. Everybody was really excited, and it was definitely a very great experience to be there.
Nice. I got a question from Camaremo. Did you know all the players? Some of them are friends or rival?
Yeah, I knew of everybody. I had not met anybody personally before the tournament, but I got a chance to talk with them during the time that we were there and during the tournament, and they all seemed like very nice people. And I've definitely become friends with some of them since then.
Nice. Another question from Cheden. Why did you choose your deck? What was your thought?
I've been playing Mono Blood for a while now, and I just think it's a very strong deck. I think that the meta has kind of prepared against it since then, since I qualified. But I still think the deck is very strong, and it's just what I was comfortable with, and I felt like it gave me a good chance to do well in the tournament. So decided to go ahead and go with what I knew instead of trying other things.
Yeah, you're a bit like Iglov and Vazrael. You like to stick with a deck you know perfectly.
Exactly. I have a lot of experience with the deck, so I feel like I can play it well.
Nice. And we saw in the set 3, Blood is a really powerful shard.
Exactly.
Okay, two questions in one from Deus and Frizette. What do you think of the shape of the tournament? Day 1 existed solely to get from 12 to 8, and it knocked out the third of the player, but the draft eliminated half of the player. Was it fair to you? Day 1 standing wasn't in the day 2?
Yeah, I thought that the way that they structured the tournament was pretty good. It can be difficult, when you have a tournament that small with only a certain number of people, and we're all going to play each other. It can be difficult, whenever we're trying to figure out who gets where, to figure out how to structure a tournament like that. And I think that they did it pretty well. It definitely meant a lot of the matches meant a lot more, and we had less room to make mistakes, and every match mattered. So it added a lot to the atmosphere of the tournament, personally, as a competitor.
Yeah, the tournament was great. Not perfect, but in the future they can perform better.
Exactly. I think that they did a pretty good job considering it was the first tournament, and I think that they learned a lot from the tournament, and I think they'll definitely improve for the future.
Yeah, I think so. Another question. How do you focus in and between games? Do you have any rituals?
Mostly just trying to keep calm and stay focused and not get too nervous. It was uh, stressful in between matches. While we were playing, it wasn't so bad because once we start playing, you're just kind of in the game, so everything else kind of goes away. But as far as in between matches, just trying not to get too ahead of yourself and just trying to keep calm and keep your nerves in control.
Yeah, you get lots of experience, so it was natural for you to play in a great tournament.
Yeah, I've played in tournaments for a while, a long time, so I've been in those situations before.
Nice. Another question. In X, there is a risk and reward situation, and players usually go for low risk, low reward to avoid dangerous move. Do you think players are too cautious sometimes?
I wouldn't necessarily call it too cautious. It's very difficult to make a decision on exactly what you need to play around and what you don't need to play around. So if you have the ability to play in such a way that causes you to lose to less things without compromising your board state or your position too much, then it's generally just correct to do so, in my opinion.
Okay, Sirius told us yesterday Jadim Jedi in a game was too cautious when he played versus him, and he could maybe win a game, but he thought he had extension and he played too cautious. And we saw in the draft phase, Eagle 2 sometimes were too cautious, but it was a great tournament with lots of stress and pressure.
Yeah.
And it was tough to make the greatest move all the time.
Yeah, and like I said, it's those situations are definitely very difficult. And the situations that you're talking about, I know what you mean. They definitely were too cautious given the situation, but it's also very difficult in the moment to make that decision to just go for something, you know, especially in that tournament like that where there's so much on the line.
Yeah, and 90% of the time it's the better move, but when it's the 10%, it's hard to guess.
Exactly.
Okay, another question. What do you think of your team, or maybe the people that helps you for preparing the tournament? Were they helpful?
Yeah, the people that I tested with were very helpful to me. Uh, Most of my testing was done on my own, but the people that did help me test a little bit were definitely very important in making sure that I was able to get my reserves the way that I wanted them, and making sure that I knew some of the matchups that I knew I was going to face. It felt like I was going to face.
How did you prepare? You had a few friends on Skype and you were playtesting all the matchups?
Yeah, I had a couple of friends in game that helped me test a little bit. Other than that, I mostly just did some gauntlets and some test games on my own. Uh, but I did have a couple of friends that were helping me a little bit to get some matchups, some games and some matchups.
Okay, nice. And just to know, Bootless told us when he tried the gauntlet, he only met 4 games to didn't appear on X meta. Did you do the same?
Yeah,
To don't reveal his deck?
I did a similar thing to what Bootless did. I did some gauntlets, but I tried to keep my deck list a secret to some extent.
It's sneaky.
Yeah.
Okay, another question. What was your favorite moment in the 2 days of the tournament?
What was
Maybe
my
your 21-21 spider?
the 21-21 spider was definitely a good moment. I'm not really sure what my favorite moment of the tournament was. Just the entire experience was great from the time we showed up to the time that we left. I mean, they treated us very well, and it was definitely just a great experience overall.
Yeah, and get your trophy by Corey Jones was a great moment, I'm sure.
For sure, it definitely was. It was definitely great to be there.
Okay, now I got more general question from our viewers. A question from Overspace. What was your first TCG and your favorite beside X?
For a long time before I started playing Hex, I played and still do sometimes. I played Magic the Gathering, and I played it pretty competitively. Uh, so I had a lot of experience in competitive TCGs from playing Magic, and it definitely was a great, you know, great for me getting started in Hex that I had that Magic experience beforehand.
Yeah, so as you said, you didn't feel the pressure and the stress in the big event.
Right.
Okay, nice. A question from Sartrixa. Can you tell us more about your in-game nickname, if you want?
Mastermattchu is a nickname that I received from friends of mine when I was in school. It's mostly my nickname was mostly Matthew. It's just a play on my actual name, which is Matthew. Uh,
Oh, nice.
yeah, people just call me Matthew as kind of a nickname, and then Master Matthew just kind of became a joke between me and my best friend because he would always help me out with stuff that I needed. Uh, and he'd always just joke around and call me Master Matthew, or just like he was my servant or something like that. So it was kind of a joke that we had,
Yeah,
kind of an inside joke.
yeah, a private running joke.
Right.
Okay, nice. Another question from Freezet. What is your favorite card and your favorite deck? Maybe not competitive. For example, Vazrael told us he loved Pack Raptor and, and Bootless Living Totem.
Yeah, I think my favorite card. Let's see.
It's a tough question.
It is. It is. I haven't thought about it. Um, as far as my favorite card, I think that my favorite card would just, as far as actual competitive play, because I think it's two different things. My favorite card for actual competitive play is probably just Inquisition, just because I like the option, the information that it gives you and allows you to make plans. Um,
Yeah.
my favorite card as far as like set 3 limited, I think my favorite card in draft is probably Spiritbound Spy.
Oh, yeah.
Just allows you to do so many things with Spiritbound Spy. It's just a very strong card, and it's a very good card to play with.
Yeah, lots of possibility. It's
Mm-hmm.
an awesome card for sure. And you love to pick information from your hand. It's funny because Value City told us he love Subterranean Spy because you can saw the opponent hand and your opponent can't know you're sneaking his hand.
Exactly.
Okay, and what is your favorite deck?
Well, I mean, obviously, I like to play Mono Blood. My favorite deck, as far as let's see, I think that the deck that I would have to say is the coolest are the 5 shard aggro decks that I've seen, the necrotic aggro decks. I really enjoy watching those be played because I think it's very cool to see people pushing those boundaries and trying to make these decks work in the meta and having some success.
Okay, nice. Another question. Do you play PvE?
I do play PvE somewhat, yes. I haven't played it as much with getting ready for the invitational and stuff, but I have played it a little bit.
Okay, nice. A question from Lot Orkani. Do you think the set and the game are generally well balanced?
I do think that the game is in a good place right now. Um, I think that for a while, Mono Blood was pretty clear in a way the strong deck, and I felt like it definitely was at the time that I qualified. I think that since then, the meta has learned to shift, and I think that things have become much more even. And the fact that people have been able to do that just shows that the game has the ability to be very balanced, and the meta has been uh, pretty solid so far. So
Yeah, the meta is more healthy. Before we had the Mono Sapphire, and it was it was not as healthy as now.
right.
Okay, a question from Draduli. What is your expectation for the set 4?
I think set 4 is going to be pretty great for the game. I think that people are going to see a lot of support for things that we haven't had support for and stuff. And I've had a chance to mess with set 4 a little bit, and what I can say is that I really enjoyed it quite a bit. So I'm very excited for set 4 to drop and for people to get a chance to play it.
Nice, and I won't harass you because I know you can't told us. But did you have the chance to play set 4 and the paper version of the set 5?
Uh, I did get a chance to play set 4, yes.
Okay, you didn't saw the set 5?
We saw a couple of things, but not too much.
Okay, okay. And the final question, do you have any advice for the new player who starts the game?
Um, just to be patient. The free to play model for Hex is actually very good, and one of the better ones that I've seen in a game. But it does take a time investment, and coming in with that understanding and just being patient and asking for help. The community is a very generous community, and anytime a new player asks for help with commons and uncommons or any cards that they need, people are generally waiting and more than willing to send people stuff. So there's help out there that's very, very available. All you have to do is ask.
Okay. Thank you, Mastermattchu, for taking a bit of your time to answer to this question, and we wish you the best for the future.
Well, thank you. I was very, very glad to do this interview with you, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to you.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, Mastermattchu.
Thank you.